Hi everybody, it's Julie. Welcome to Hello Monday. Today I'm going to be making a light up greeting card using the Chibitronics LED light set, as well as the Believe script and the Antlers die from the newest Essentials by Ellen Holiday 2016 release. And this video is going to be a little bit longer than normal because I'm going to be building an electrical circuit to make these things light up, and I wanted to show you how that was done. I'm actually going to be working with the Chibitronics starter set, and when you first get this kit, you're going to find that there's a very in-depth instruction manual in there that helps. There's also a lot of other YouTube tutorials on how to use the Chibitronics set. It also comes with copper foil tape that you're going to need to create your circuit, as well as some LED lights that are stickers and some coin batteries that are going to be needed to power the lights. Now I'm just making a simple circuit, so I opened up the book and studied the simple circuit template inside the instruction manual, and I'm pretty much going to be doing exactly what those instructions tell me to. Now I've already got my Believe script die cut from some silvery glitter paper with adhesive on the back, and I also die cut the antlers from some wood sheets, and I also put an extra layer of Crafterboard on the back of that to give it just a little bit more heft and substance. Now I'm going to glue these to the panel that's going to get mounted to my card front by using a fine tip glue applicator and a little bit of post-it tape to keep those aligned, and then I can apply glue to them very easily and grab them and get them mounted to this panel that's going to be on my card front. And once I get those in place, I can go ahead and smooth that down, and then I'll remove the tape and everything will be mounted exactly where I need it to. It's probably a good idea to let it dry for a little bit before you start pulling the tape away, but I was anxious to get started and I didn't want to wait, so I had to be a little bit careful there removing the tape. Now I need to pierce a hole where I want my LED light to show through, and I'm just using a piercing tool and kind of eyeballing where I want that LED to show, and I'm just going to puncture right through that front panel there and just work my piercing tool around to make sure that hole is going to be large enough. And I'm really winding it up, aren't I? I get carried away there. And then I'm going to take a piece of cardstock. This is just 80-pound Neenah Solar White. It's the same size as my wood grain panel. And I'm going to mark the hole through the front there with a pencil so that I know where that hole is. And this piece is never going to get seen. It's just going to be where I build my circuit. And you could do it directly on the card front, but I just found for me it was easier to build my circuit on this extra piece of white cardstock. Now I have a little strip of cardstock that I've folded in half, and I marked it with a minus and a plus, and that tells me where my negative and positive are going to need to get lined up, and that'll make more sense here in a minute. And then I'm going to take my copper foil, and I need to run two strips. One is going to be a negative line and the other is going to be a positive line. So I've lined up the end there right underneath my little pencil dot, which is hard to see here on camera. And then I'm going to run that tape all the way down to where that negative sign is on my little battery holder. And that is just a piece of scrap Neenah 80-pound cardstock that's going to keep my battery in place and keep it from moving around. And then I'm going to take another strip of the foil and make another line that's going to angle down and come around and connect to that positive sign on my battery holder. So I'm just folding the tape when I need to make a corner. I'm just going to fold it on itself so I can keep it creased and flat against the surface here of this piece of cardstock so that I end up having a really good strong connection when I put everything together. So I'm just smoothing it out there and making sure that I'm coming down around the back side of my little battery holder, and I'm just going to fold it on itself again, and it helps to just rotate my paper as I'm working here instead of trying to do gymnastics with my hands. So I'm just running it along the back side, and then I'm going to come back over the back cover there of my battery holder and over the top, and then end it right there and tear it away where it goes over that plus sign. So I have two different strips of copper tape. I'm going to reinforce them and burnish them down really nicely against my cardstock here with my Teflon bone folder, and make sure they're all firmly attached there to the paper. So after I'm done doing that, it occurred to me that maybe I had just a little bit too much copper foil tape going across the top of the battery there. So I'm just going to trim that little bit of excess away there and reburnish the end down. Now, whenever you build a circuit, you have to remember that you need to line things up or connect things positive to positive and negative to negative. So I'm using my pencil to mark which copper foil tape is the positive and which one is the negative. And when I grab my LED, you can't see it because it's so tiny on camera, but I'm going to use my pencil here to point out that the LED also has markings, positive and negative. And when you put your battery into the battery holder, you want to actually put the negative side against the negative tape run and the positive where the positive is going to connect. So I've got my LED mounted in place, and I'm just going to burnish it and make sure it is stuck down and making contact very firmly there with that copper foil tape. And I've aligned the positive side of the LED to the positive tape run and the negative to the negative. And when I put the battery in the holder, I've got the negative matching up with the negative and the positive matching the positive. And then when I close that lid, I'm going to end up making that contact that lights up the LED. And I also added 3 layers thick of foam tape around the little battery holder there. And that's going to keep that piece of paper that is the holder elevated. The lid will be elevated so that only when I press down, the tape is going to make contact there with the battery and light up the LED. Otherwise, if it's constantly touching and making contact, it's going to run the battery until the battery dies. So you need to have that elevation there to make sure that it's not making contact until you press down. And here you can see me testing everything. And I'm adding 3 more layers of foam tape around the perimeter of my panel to make sure that whole panel is raised and I have enough elevation there to make sure that that little battery holder lid is elevated enough that it only makes contact when you press it down. So now I'm going to go ahead and get everything mounted, and I like to remove the liner paper a little bit from the edges there just to make sure that I've got enough to tack it down but not mount it permanently, just in case it's not where I want it. And I realized I had some excess that was going to overhang outside the back there of my panel, so I'm just going to go ahead and come in with my scissors and trim off anything I'm worried is going to hang out the other side. And it's going to look kind of ugly because I'm butchering it a little bit back here, but it's never going to be seen, so I'm not going to worry about it. Now I can go ahead and remove the liner papers from the foam tape there and make sure that my circuit panel piece is secured to my front panel. And then to mount the whole thing to the card front, I'm going to take some Be Creative tape and add a little bit more on the back. And you could build your whole circuit on your base card and not have this additional panel, but for me, I just found that I could get things lined up a lot easier if I built my circuit on a separate panel that was going to be hidden anyway between the front panel and the base card. So it just worked better for me this way. And I am going to go ahead and peel away some of the liner tape, not all of it, like I did in the previous, just to make sure that I've got some handles here to hang on to and I'm not mounting it permanently to my card base until I'm sure it is exactly where I want it. So I'm going to tack it down here using my little handles. And then once I'm sure I've got it in place, I can press very firmly, and then I can go around all the perimeter there and pull away the liner tape. So I'm just going to do that very quickly and press down firmly because it's nice and square, nothing's crooked, and I'm not going to destroy my card front here. So this is just kind of a nice way to give yourself a backup plan in case things don't get mounted completely straight. Now I'm going to take my Believe script that I die cut from some glitter paper that I put some of that stick it tape on the back of it, and then I die cut it all at once so it would be nice and self-adhesive for me. And I'm just aligning that over my button where the coin battery is behind the front panel there, and then when I press on it, it will light things up. And here you can see why I needed 3 layers of foam tape to elevate that front panel and to elevate the area around the battery holder. So I decided to further embellish my card with these really sweet Pretty Pink Posh silvery star sequins, and I'm using multi-medium and a jewel picker tool to get a hold of them and press those into the glue. And then I used my Dymo label maker to put a message on the inside that says press on Believe if you do, so that the person who receives the card knows they need to press on that to make the reindeer's nose light up. So this was a lot of fun. I couldn't stop playing with it. There are different colors of LED lights in the kit, and I think this was a lot easier to do than I was originally anticipating it would be. All the supplies are available at ellenhudson.com. We have more still shots available at the Classroom blog, and thanks for watching.